Welcome to another Farming Simulator 25 video, and today we're going to have a talk about Autodrive and some of the basics. The first thing is, if you're going to be installing Autodrive, at the moment only get it from GitHub. I will include a link down below of where to download it from. It will download into your downloads folder and then just copy that across to your mods folder. If you're not sure how to do that, I'll include a card in the video corner now linking to my courseplay video, which shows you how to install courseplay. It's the same process for Autodrive, so I won't go through that now. I'll save you if you already know how to do that. In the future, I'm sure it will be available on ModHub as well. Don't download it from any of those other scummy third-party mod sites. Once you've got it installed, to bring it up, you can hit Alt and numpad 0. That brings us up the HUD here on the right hand side, and the first thing we're going to do is have a chat about why you might want to use Autodrive. So Autodrive replaces the base game work of moving your vehicle around the map, but it also lets you do a whole bunch of other stuff. So Autodrive can act as a carter for you for unloading combines. It can do the same thing with harvesters. It is just a much more capable worker. So we've got different modes. We can do pick up and deliver, so you can pick up crops from your silo, deliver them to a sell point. We'll have a look at that. You can just deliver things, loading and unloading, and the most important one, the combine one, you'll probably want to be using that quite a lot. As I said, it's just much more competent than the base game worker, but the big one really is using it for things like unloading a combine and working with a forage harvester. If you like using courseplay, it works really well with courseplay as well. Some settings that we're going to have a look at. So we'll go through the HUD in a moment, but first I want to have a look at the settings. To bring the settings up, we use this cog menu. The only one I'm going to have a look at today in the vehicle settings is corner speed. If you're finding as your vehicle is going around the map, it's going too fast, you might reduce that a little bit. Some of the rest we will probably look at in future videos. We're going to go into user settings, which is this one with the head. If you find the GUI looks a little bit small, you can make it bigger. If you find it's too big, you can make it smaller. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for today, just so it's easier to see. I am going to change display help to no. So I'm just going to go out. I'm just going to save those changes. I'm just going to go out. And if we bring up the F1 menu, you can see there are some Autodrive controls that are in the F1 menu. I don't like having those there, so we're going to go back into the gear, and I'm going to put that to no and apply. And then if you go out of the vehicle and back in, those go away. That's my preference. You might not want to do that. The next one I'm going to change is the line height. I'm going to change that to above tractor. Again, my preference. Makes it much easier for editing courses and things. You'll see most creators that do stuff with this have this set to above tractor. And show next path, I'm going to leave to yes for now. What that does is, once you are out of edit mode, it will just show you where the tractor's going next. Probably you'll want that turned off. I'm going to leave it on for now. Most of the rest of these we probably don't need to worry about too much. I will look at some of these in future videos where we go into some of the other modes. The one that I'm going to put on is record without driver. I'm going to put that to yes as well and hit apply. What that does is, if you're recording your course and for whatever reason you get out of the vehicle, you've got other vehicles on the map and they're in the way and you tab away, it doesn't stop the recording. So and what I'm going to show you today is just the basics of setting up an Autodrive route. Now, there are people like Autodrive Guy and a few others who create full map routes, and those are really good, but you might still need to know how to edit them, how to add bits to them. So this will be useful for that, to start doing anything with Autodrive involving editing the route, we're going to need to go into edit mode. To do that, we press the little hazard symbol down here. That brings up some more controls. So we've got record, we've got open the routes manager. We're not really going to need that today. We've got create and edit target. I think of that more as waypoint, but we've got delete waypoint, which is different. So we'll stick with target. And then we've got edit target. So I'll try and use the proper terminology. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a route that goes from our silo here to the farmer's market over just in the distance there. But I'm going to show you how I would go about doing that in terms of setting up a proper road network. So I'm not just going to loop to the different places. So we're going to hit record. We're going to pull forward. I have got some stuff in the silo, so once we've got it set up, we'll do a loop. Now, when you're putting in your target, bear in mind you might have a bigger trailer, that kind of thing. So pull forwards far enough to account for that. And then to encourage Autodrive to put in a marker, you just turn the tractor a little bit. It'll encourage it to drop a target, a waypoint, sorry, and then we're going to add a target. And we're going to call that farm site. I've spelt it wrong. So if we need to edit it, if we click on it, and then we can do edit selected target. Why is it not letting me do that? Edit selected target. Please let me do that. There we go. There we go. Sorry, wrong button. So to correct it, we do that button, and then we do farm silo. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is plan our route out of the farmyard. Now, for your farmyard on future maps, this might be more complex. So when you're planning things, do try and think ahead. Quite simple on here. So we're just going to head around here and again, think about different vehicles you might have on the farm. And we're just going to head down to the main road here and just come out onto the main road. And I'm going to head past the junction that I want for the farmer's market. So I'm going to show you this as if I was starting to create a full network. So we're going to head up to the junction up here and start the beginnings of building a network. So we'll stop here, and then, you know, you'd have your network going across this road as well. But we're just going to turn around here. I'm doing this because I want to show you how I would create the junction of the road coming up. So we'll then hit record. Now, you'll see here that Autodrive has automatically connected us to a waypoint that we don't want to be connected on. This is a good point to show you how to undo this connection. And what you do is you'll see the line goes from here to here. To undo the connection that goes that way, you click on the start of the connection you want to remove. It goes green. And then the end of the connection you want to remove. It is directional. So we can then carry on driving. We head down here and we're going to go down and past the junction that we want to connect to. And I'm going to connect back up to the where the farm is. So we'll build this up as if we're starting to build a bit of a network up. Not helped by the traffic. I would consider turning off traffic when you're doing this yourself. In fact, we'll go in and we'll do that. So, just because that will make it a little bit easier. So yeah, run past the farm as if you're heading down the road. I'll then show you how we create the turnings into junctions. Obviously we would have a full line, a full course going down this way as well. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start about here. We're going to hit record again. We're just going to pull forward a little bit to create a bit of a segment because it gives us direction. Then what we want to do is we're going to click on the waypoint here. We're going to come across, so we highlight the first waypoint, but we're not going to click, we're going to use the scroll wheel. We're going to pull the scroll wheel towards us, and that creates a bend. So we get a curved segment, and then we left click, and that gives us a nice curved turn into the junction. Then we pull forwards and stop, and we click on the record button again, and then just left click on the end there, it goes green, and then we left click there. So that's created a part of the loop. Obviously it's not a complete loop because we're simulating creating part of a network. What we're going to do now is create the road that goes down to the farmer's market. Now this is a very narrow road. So I'm going to create this as a two-way road. So what you do, to get the cursor up, you middle click. I should have said that. So if we middle click, we can move the camera around. If we middle click again, we get the cursor. And we're going to right click on the record button, and you see we get a blue line. Now I don't want it connected to this yet, so we're going to left click on here, left click here. But you see we still get a line going that way because it's a two-way course, so we need to left click on the dot above the tractor and then left click there, so we just get our waypoint. And then we're going to head down here, and we now get a blue line because this is a two-way course, so tractors can drive in either direction down this road. Now that will mean that if you've got multiple vehicles running around, they will wait at either end of this if there is traffic on here. And I'm going to run this past the sell point. This is the sell point that we want, but we are simulating creating our network, so I'm going to run this up to the junction up here where I would probably run this to. There we go. So like that. And then left click to stop the recording. And then we're going to head back down to the sell point. And create the spurs to be able to deliver to the sell point. So what we do is come off probably about here. Yeah. But you'll notice that when we stop, there's a little red line here which goes from the tractor to the nearest waypoint. So when we click record, that shows you where the waypoints are going to link up. So if I hit record now, you'll see we get a waypoint that goes from there to there. And because I've hit the left click, it's now directional. We're going to drive down. Now it's not very smooth, is it? If you want to move the waypoint, you can put the mouse button over it, left click, and it's right click, sorry. Put the mouse button over it. Because the tractor's in the way, it's not working very well to move it. We're going to pull forwards, and it's right click, sorry. It lets you move it, and then we can smooth that turn out a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to pull forwards, and again go past the sell point that you want to account for a bigger tractor or trailer. There we go. And then we're going to create our target by clicking, and then click on there, farmers market. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing the tractor to the left a little bit, and then all the way around, and then stop recording, and then left click on the last one, left click on that point there. And then, so that this can be used from either direction, if we were doing this properly, we're going to left click there, and then I can just left click over there. And that'll allow from this farmer's market silo point for the tractor to spin around a 180 and go out, or go straight forwards and out. So in theory, we're almost set up now to be able to do a loop from the farm to the farmer's market and back. We just need to connect this to our start of our road network. So we'll just run out here like this way so I can show you how I like to create junctions from a main road into a side road. So what we do is from here, so this line is going from left to right, so we take a point here, we left click, we come over to the end of this, click, so it's green, come over to here, then pull back and roll it in so you get a nice curve, and left click. Then we'll left click here, we'll go over to that point, keep rolling until you get a curve that looks like it's good enough. There we go. And then this one, we're going from now left to right again. So we want to get pull back to roll to get a nice curve. And again, we're going to just move the camera up a little bit. There we go. So basically you're creating 4 curves. A curve going in that way and out that way, and a curve going in that way and out that way. So we should now, if we drag back to the farm, assuming things are good, be able to set up a route. So we're going to change our mode. So down here we have this icon selects the mode we want. We're going to go to pick up and deliver. Top one is where we pick up from, so we will do farm silo. Bottom one is where we deliver to, which is farmer's market, and then this is what you're going to pick up. Currently we only have wheat in the silo, and then this option here is how many times you're going to do it. So you can cycle through between 1 and show how high it goes. Used to be a smaller number than that, quite a high number, or if you leave it on infinity it will keep going until the silo is empty. I'm hoping it's 99. There we go. Yep. So we'll have it on 1 now, and if I hit, so we can turn off, if you want now you can turn off the edit bit, and we'll hit go. And you'll see the white arrow ahead of us showing us where we're headed. But I'm going to put the edit marker back on just so we can see what's going on. And if we put this far enough forwards, we will pull up, we will load up our wheat until it's full. And then we will head off towards the farmer's market. And so that's the basics of creating a network. Now, as I said, you can download them from various content creators. They are content creators ultimately, and I'll do a separate video on how you can install those when you're downloading them. But you might need to edit those courses as you create your own custom farms or add buildings and that kind of thing. So I figured it was worth doing this anyway. And not every map will have a course created for it. Personally, I don't always download them because I tend to make these as I go. So there we go. We're heading along our single track route towards the farmer's market. Hopefully I've got all of this right. We will, because we've only done a single loop, stop when we hit the farmer's market point, because we've done our 1 circuit. And there we go, we are delivering. So Autodrive won't just drive to the marker and tip, or try and tip, it will drive to within a distance of that and look for a trigger that accepts what it's carrying. So it's worth going a distance ahead to allow for bigger trailers. It'll now pull forwards to the previously selected point and stop in this case. There we go. So if it was 2, I don't think there's enough crop in there to do 2, but if we hit go now, it'll drive back, and you can see up on the HUD here it's telling us it's going to take about a minute to get back to the farm. So that's the basics of creating an Autodrive course. There are a couple more bits that I'll show you once we get back, just to help, and then I'll do some future videos on some of the more specialist things like combine, forage harvester, slurry and manure spreading is one that I like using it for. So you can link course plate and Autodrive together to automate slurry and manure spreading. That's quite nice. Yeah, so I really like Autodrive. It's quite handy for getting things done, speeding up jobs, definitely. So you'll see we will load up again, and it'll carry on. Now, what if you've got things wrong? So if you need to move them about, right click and you can drag around. Particular mistakes you might make, you might not place this far enough forwards or too far away, so you need to adjust it a little bit. Alt, left click, deletes. Control, left click, creates. Right click at the top, moves. Alt, left click, deletes. Control, left click, creates. Alt, left click, deletes. Sorry, I've said that many times just because I was getting it in my head as well. Control, left click, creates. Alt, left click, deletes. And so if you're trying to readjust a course and you've messed things up a little bit, then you can put them back. And then, important point again, if you're trying to then reconnect, the direction is important. And if you notice there, if you were reconnecting and you go that way to that way, then that course is going that way. If we try and hit go, it shouldn't work. It shouldn't be able to create a course. Yeah, so it can't reach the farmer's market because this course is going that way. If we fix that, it now can. So hopefully that last bit wasn't too confusing. Sorry, I hadn't done too much testing of that bit before I recorded this. Hopefully in the edit I can tidy that up a little bit. But yeah, the basics of creating courses in Autodrive. As I said, I'll do some more in-depth videos on the other modes in the future. And yeah, if you found this video useful, click the like button. If you've got any comments or questions, stick them below. And I'll see you next time.